Hey everyone, my name is Natalie MacPherson, and today I'm here to talk to you about a very inspirational woman, Maya Angelou. Maya was a poet, author, singer, dancer, screenwriter, and civil rights activist. She was born on April 4th, 1928, in St. Louis, Missouri, as Marguerite Annie Johnson. Maya had one brother named Bailey who she was very close with. Bailey was the first person to call her Maya. Their parents split up when she was at the very young age of 3. Her and her brother were sent to live with her father's mother, Ann Henderson, in Stamps, Arkansas, where as an African American, she experienced firsthand racial prejudices and discrimination. When she was around the age of 7, during a visit with her mother, she was raped by her mother's boyfriend. He was found guilty but was only in jail for 1 day. 4 days after he was released, he was murdered. It is assumed that Maya's uncle had done it. She was traumatized and had felt like her words had killed the man. As a result, she became a virtual mute for approximately 5 years until the age of 13. Her and her brother had eventually moved to San Francisco to reunite with their mother, where she attended Mission High School. She had won a scholarship to study dance and drama at San Francisco's labor school, but dropped out and became San Francisco's first African American cable car conductor. She returned to school but then got pregnant in her senior year. She graduated a few weeks before giving birth to her son Guy in 1944. Maya left home at 16 to take on being a single mother to her son. She struggled to provide, working as a waitress and a cook. She kept music, dance, performance, and poetry in sight, not giving up on her talents. In 1952, she married Tosh Angelos. They divorced shortly after their marriage in 1954. Maya later got remarried in 1974 to Paul Defoe, but divorced him as well in 1983. Maya had a number of successes throughout her life. She received dozens of awards, including 2 NAACP Image Awards in the Outstanding Literary Work category, and a total of 3 Grammys for her work. She also received more than 50 honorary degrees. In 1954 and 1955, she toured Europe with the production of the opera Porgy and Bess. She studied modern dance with Martha Graham and danced with Alvin Ailey on television variety shows. She acted in a historic off-Broadway production of The Blacks and wrote and performed A Cabaret for Freedom. Maya recorded her first record album, Miss Calypso, in 1957. She sung all songs on the album and had composed 5 of them. She even went on tour singing her songs in nightclubs. When Maya started working in nightclubs, she took on her professional name, Maya Angelou, a combination of her childhood nickname and a form of her first husband's name. She eventually gave up performing for her writing career. On top of all of these achievements and many more, Maya spoke a number of 6 different languages. Maya was very well known for her poetry. She used it as an outlet to help deal with trauma. Her poetry covers many topics including love, painful loss, music, discrimination and racism, and struggle. There are many metaphors within her writing that refer to the struggles of being an African American woman. Maya has published many volumes of poetry. Her first volume, Just Give Me a Cool Drink of Water 'Fore I Die, written in 1971, was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. She was also the second poet in history to recite a poem at an inauguration of the president. The poem she recited was one of her bestseller poems, On the Pulse of Morning, at the inauguration of President Bill Clinton in 1993. In 2010, President Barack Obama presented Maya with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Maya Angelou had big effects on many celebrities, one of which was Oprah Winfrey. Maya impacted Oprah perhaps more than anyone else. Oprah considered Maya a mentor and a teacher to others. Hours after Maya was found dead, Oprah wrote about her on her website. A quote from her writing says, "I've been blessed to have Maya Angelou as my mentor, mother/sister, and friend since my 20s. She was there for me always, guiding me through some of the most important years of my life. The world knows her as a poet, but at the heart of her, she was a teacher. When you learn, teach. When you get, give, is one of my best lessons from her." In the late 50s, Maya wanted to increase her writing skills. She moved to New York and she joined the Harlem Writers Guild, where she met her friend James Baldwin. Her and James became very close. Angelou attended a dinner party one night, at James' request, at the home of Jules Pfeiffer and his wife Judy. Judy was impressed with Maya's childhood stories and called Robert Loomis, who became Maya's editor. James and Robert encouraged Maya to write her series of autobiographies in 1969. The first volume of 7 was I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. She is best known for the 7-volume series. This first one includes Maya's coming-of-age story, in which she changes from a victim of racism into a dignified woman who is more than capable of responding to racism. The autobiography made literary history by becoming the first nonfiction bestseller by an African American woman. It was nominated for a National Book Award in 1970 and remained on the New York Times paperback bestseller list for 2 years. Maya had also written a poem with the title, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream, till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams, his shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. There are many examples of archetypes in this poem. An archetypal theme is fulfillment or acceptance of one's destiny. This poem fits this theme because even though the caged bird has never experienced freedom, it still knows that it was created for freedom. The caged bird accepts that it will remain caged, but continues to sing for the freedom that it longs for. Archetypal settings and symbols that are used include daytime, light, and sun. All of these are used for the free bird to show its goodness, orderly life, and hope. The tone of the poem drastically changes from inspiring and joyful to dark and unnerving. The tones are used to contrast and compare the lives of the two very different birds, which reflect society and herself. She says that while the free bird gets to enjoy the full sky, the caged bird barely gets to see a glimpse of it. The free bird has memories and experiences of nature, and the caged bird stands on the grave. Caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. The free bird sings and is heard, and the caged bird screams but is only heard as background noise. Maya felt this way often in her life, feeling restricted from enjoying freedom and held back from opportunities, all things her white counterparts never had to experience. This metaphor in the poem stands out to me. The caged bird has dreams of freedom and what it would do if it were free, but they cannot be fulfilled. The bird has not been given the chance, and therefore all of the dreams are dead. She felt that as an author and poet, her words were not heard because of the color of her skin, and in some ways felt like she was still experiencing slavery today. Despite the fact that African American people were free during her time, they felt far from free. There were still so many restrictions in society that encouraged these feelings. Maya thanks her grandmother and other family for teaching her the values that helped her in her later life and career. She died not long ago on May 28th in 2014. After reportedly being in poor health, she was found by her nurse on that morning. Her story and success will not be forgotten. She continues to inspire. Did I miss a part? Memories and experiences of the